Glenn Parker High Vibration Foundation, how are you doing? In the beginning of these videos, I'm trying to get more heart-centered and be able to communicate more information more effectively. I was watching a video from Alan Watts just a little while ago, and it was on Satori. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about the idea of Satori. And Satori is the idea of, for lack of other better terms and translations, becoming self-aware of your true nature. And this has happened many different ways for many different people. It never happens the same way for any one given person, because you all are unique. We all are unique, and we all wanted to have different experiences. We all are immortal beings in a timeless reality who chose to come to physical reality with a whole bunch of our friends and play a game called Earth and forget that you were immortal and go to a place where you could remember, and everybody's way of remembering is different than another. Just like nobody wants the same exact car and the exact same color from the exact same manufacturer, eats the exact same food in the way other people do. And that is the true nature of diversity and division and diversification of all that we are all that is, having different experiences so that all that is can grow and grow and grow and grow. So the all are the one, and the one is the all. With that all said, Satori and how it happens, I've heard people like Viktor Frankl, who Man's Search for Meaning, he was in, and he didn't really become necessarily self-aware, but he gleaned great truth in that during the time, and he was a doctor, and he was in the concentration camps, and he was being used to care over patients that had no chance of living, and every day was the same, and it was unhappy, and it was pain, and it was suffering, and he was doing his best as his training as a doctor to be able to help people. And he gleaned a lot of truth in that. Let's say, just because harm has been done to you, one of his main philosophies is that as harm has been done to you, does not give you the right to do harm unto others. And that could be considered a sort of Satori. But a true Satori is when you become fully self-aware, when death has no more meaning, because death is basically the transition back into life, into eternal life. And as a human race, we've been trying to put all these different labels on it to try to get the human mind around it. Heaven and hell and Valhalla and any and all types of labels you want to put on eternity. Heaven and hell was this eternal, salvation or damnation, depending on if you've been naughty or nice, whatever definition of naughty and nice you hold. But they're all ideas of eternity. The human mind going back and trying to figure out, the ego trying to deconstruct things and going, hey, how is this working? I can sense that there's more, I know that there's more, and I've seen these clues and what's going on. So there are tons of ways to get a Satori. There's a lot of people that have gone through wars, and it seems hopeless, and they're going to die, or they hear a mortar shell, and they know it's coming, and they hear the whistling, and they make peace with it, and many, many times it ends up being a dud, and they live on to tell the tale. Now, if they hadn't made peace with it, would it have been a dud? Probably not. It would have been game over. And that was what they wanted to experience. So there's all these different ways. Now, in January of 2013, I was meditating and I was listening to Paul Lowell's information, and he has a lot of things in there that go back to the one. And there was one instance where I was in the bathtub and I was playing this in the background, and all at once I was like, whoa. Which would be considered a Satori. Self-awareness, a feeling of unconditional love, a connection to all things, everywhere and any when. And, it also was kind of like, what was going on. It was also kind of frightening, because at the same time I was like, oh, what was going on? What is this? Did I have a heart attack? Did I bump my head? What's going on? Did I eat some bad fish? What's going on? And and I started seeking it more and more and more. The more you seek after it, the harder it is to duplicate. Now I have had more episodes or more of the returning of the one moment of understanding that everything is one. So more Satoris, more Satoris, more Satoris. And sometimes it's at the oddest times. I was watching the last end of a movie, and it was a Deep Impact, and it was, you know, everybody scrambling, and then it was, you know, like everybody giving their infants to people that were going to have a chance to get there. And, you know, at that point I was like, ooh, you know, everybody playing out these types of themes in these games. And there was another Satori, you know, of unconditional love and more self-awareness. So it happens at the oddest times. It is not an easy thing to chase. There are places you can go where people that are highly trained and that do classes to be able to get you through a cycle to get into a Satori. And I've heard these work very well. I've never actually personally tried one myself. But I've heard these work really well on aggregate of the time. They are able to get you to at least enough of a Satori state that you can kind of continue on from there and chase after it, or, you know, meditate more on it and get more into alignment with it. So I don't know exactly why I was doing this video today. It was this idea of Satori. I wanted to explain it and how it kind of translates into the new energy. You are starting to remember what, who, and what you are, and that you are a greater entity, and that you are immortal, and that everything that exists is one thing. Superposition, collapse of the waveform, quantum entanglement, everything is one thing. Everything is touching from the time of the Big Bang, is another way to say this. That, you know, particles, even split apart and sent across space, are still entangled and still react to each other. It's because everything is one thing. We're starting to recognize that everything is one thing. So Satori is another way to have a self-awakening, and it happens many different ways. It is this sense of unconditional love, and it is unique to each individual. There are tons of ways to do it. There are tons of classes out there. There are tons of people that teach. I always say follow your heart, because it is your center of your being. It is the aspect of you on an extra dimensional plane that is translating through unconditionally into this physical reality. So if you follow your heart center, you actually have a lot more following your highest excitement and the collapse of space and time and synchronicity. So if you have been seeking a Satori, or if you're curious about this process, you feel free to message me. As I find some resources, I'll stick them down below. But it really is about following your heart center. If you want to go to a yoga retreat, or if you want to go watch a particular movie in the theater, if you want to have a scoop of ice cream, it is all good. That is your process of enlightenment, because that is exciting. That is what is exciting to you at the time. So whatever is exciting to you at the time is your path to your Satori. And it is just that simple. You know, we say these things that are very simple, and the human mind wants to make them complicated, because we have made things overly complicated, and we have a lot of things backward, like seeing is believing, where in reality believing is seeing. Who knew? Because your belief systems and what you hold predominantly as your dominant vibration is the parallel reality that you will realize in the infinite dimensional plane of physical reality. Now, they all exist simultaneously, side by side, like a different channel on your television. And when you're tuning yourself to the proper channel, not proper, to the channel that you wish to experience, whether it's $1 million or a button or a new girlfriend or a new boyfriend, lover, whatever, a new pet, it is this manifestational process of you tuning your vibration to that physical reality. They all exist simultaneously. And this process of Satori is not any different. It is following your highest excitement, and it is just being in alignment with your true self, and you'll go and find your Satori because it is already there. It does exist. You have had a Satori in one of these infinite parallel realities. So it is just basically getting into alignment of the things that bring you your highest excitement and collapsing down space and time via synchronicity into more of the one moment. And there's your Satori. So I hope this was helpful. I do life coaching, business coaching, and spiritual coaching. So coaching, Always happy to sit on the phone for an hour and have a conversation about pretty much anything. And, even Satori's and where you could go and what you could do and things that might be useful for you. Meditation is always good. I mean, there's always some quiet time and being focused on oneself. So thank you very much. Love and light, and have a fantastic day.